let's make sure everything is rolling on YouTube. Okay, audio. Okay, touche. You know what time it is, people. Super late though, or early, wherever you are. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Yo, people, welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic really fucking late, actually. It's about 12:05 a.m. where I am, but I decided I wasn't going to sleep without giving you guys and girls an episode, despite how busy my day was. So we're going to be, diving into a little bit of a story time today. It's going to be kind of cool if you don't already know about me. All right. And this sort of story time is something that, like, of course, I'm going to be telling you a story about me, but I also hope that this relates to you because this is sort of like a motivational story. I want this to bring the good out of you guys and girls if you're tuning in. Also, when you do tune in, let me fucking know how your day is going. I want to know. I actually give a shit, especially if you're tuning in at 12 a.m. If you are an EST, let me know how your day is going. We're going to be breaking it down. I'll be spending some time here before I have one more meal to eat before I go to bed. All right. So, as I said earlier on, I wasn't going to let this episode slide. Super fucking tired. Had a super busy day. Was cooking for most of the day, but I decided I was not going to fool on you guys and actually want to give you guys and girls a story. All right. I want to give you guys and girls a story that's going to, bring out that good in you, bring out that motivation in you, but also, or sorry, by also, telling what I had to go through in a certain like snippet of my life, which I don't really talk about much, but I did talk about a little bit last week. If you do follow me on social media, then you know. But without wasting any time, we'll be diving into this podcast episode shortly. Again, guys and girls, I can see you guys and girls joining. Just say hi. Honestly, I'm not going to diss you or anything. Sarash on TikTok says, cooking what? I was cooking a whole bunch of shit. I was cooking chicken breast, ground turkey, ground beef for the meat sauce that I use for pasta, and rice and shit like that. I was like meal prepping, right? So I was cooking a whole bunch of shit. Lizzie says, such a pleasure to see your face today. I appreciate you, Lizzie. All right, people, since you guys don't want to ask a lot of questions yet, I want to let you know that you are welcome to ask questions at the end of the podcast recording. While I am recording, I won't be, responding to anyone's comments or questions, but at the end, I will. All right, so keep that in mind. Dre, what the fuck is happening? What's good? Hope everything's cooling over on your new spot over there. Congratulations again to making that move, that big, interprovincial move. Salute. Michael, thanks for joining. All right. So, without wasting any time, I'll be giving you guys and girls a story time and giving you a little snippet of my life that you guys and girls actually helped me a lot with, which honestly, I'm going to tell you how it's going to help yourself. All right. But before I go in, I have one more question here on TikTok. Before we start, he says, what's the other platform you're on? So right now I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on YouTube streaming this live. If you want to subscribe to me, that's MATT space BUTALE, Matt Butale. Also, I normally stream on Facebook, but I haven't all week because I left that phone in my cousin's car, so I haven't been able to stream there. But anyway, let's get on with this. All right, let's get into this episode. We'll be diving into this episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, and no, we're not, because the wrong microphone is being recorded right now, so that's not happening. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, questions. I'll take a few before we dive into this one, just to fix this one. Because honestly, if I decided to record that episode and this microphone wasn't tapped in, I'd have been pissed off. Y'all would have been pissed off. The audio quality would have been so garbage, and I don't do that shit. All right, so let's see if we got the. All right, fuck yeah. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your returning champion, IFBB Pro Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic. And today, I'll be giving you guys and girls a little bit of a story time. All right, I'll be talking to you about hype and believing in your hype, and sort of how you guys helped me believe in myself, even when I didn't believe in myself. And believe me, by the end of this episode, you'll understand the reason why I even decided to talk about this today. All right. So before we dive in, don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast story. If you get value, share it to your story on Instagram. All right. Screenshot it. Tag me, SCHWARZENXGGA. Tag me on Instagram. Put on your story if you get value. All right. So also, if you're watching from YouTube, hey, somebody from TikTok went over. Or no, he didn't. He just tuned in on YouTube, and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man. Give me your first name, because I know you got your YouTube name over there. So I want to see who you are, because he said he went to middle school with me, which is pretty awesome. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the sub. And now, without wasting time, let's dive into this episode. All right, so it's called Believe Your Own Hype, and I'm going to be giving you guys and girls a story time. All right, so picture this. I was about 15 years old, and I was a freestyle wrestler when I was 15. When I was 15, I wasn't, bodybuilding or anything really. I was going to the gym, but I was mainly focused on playing football and wrestling as a freestyle wrestler, right? So those are like the two things I was sort of focused on when I was younger, right? And when I was 15, at this point in time, I'd already been wrestling for like most of the year or something like that. And I qualified for this, I guess what it's a sort of like a provincial tournament, a big provincial tournament. And I qualified for it. I went to this tournament, right? And I was 15 years old, right? And there's a picture I posted about last week where it literally shows the match that I won when the ref was raising my hand. The dude on my right was 19 years old. As a matter of fact, I was like the youngest guy in that tournament in my weight class. The year was 2014, and the tournament was OFSA, spelled OFSAA for you Canadians out there that know OFSA. Shout out to you Canadians that are listening. That was the tournament. That's like where I was competing, and that was like the biggest fucking thing for school wrestling that year, right? The biggest thing for school wrestling that year, right? And it was my rookie year of wrestling. I was about 64 kilos, which is like 140 pounds, right? And honest to God, to this day, I'll never, ever, ever forget the experience that I experienced when I went to go compete at that show or that tournament. I'm so obsessed with bodybuilding. I keep saying show. Anyway, looking back at that picture, honestly, made me like I literally envisioned, the grunting of all the warriors that did battle that day. I could literally smell like the fucking the sweat and the warm wrestling mats, and I can remember gasping for air. I was like suffering. Wrestling's really fucking hard. It's like the hardest sport you can do. Like ask anybody that's done it. It's the hardest thing, harder than bodybuilding. I don't give a fuck, right? I used to bleed a little bit because it's just contact sports. People are throwing you, and honestly, some kids had fucking acne. This is high school, right? So their fucking pimples and shit would be exploding in the middle of the match, and everyone got like a handkerchief because of that shit, right? And nosebleeds and all that. So I remember I still have it's somewhere buried in my old gym bag. I have my handkerchief from that offsa with the blood of my enemies on it. It's so weird that I keep that shit, but I still have it for sentimental value. But I remember looking at that picture and feeling all those feelings. And I also remember that I was also the youngest guy in the entire division in my weight class at that tournament. And that fucking made me scared because I knew that before I was going to the show or the tournament. I keep messing that up. Honestly, if I keep saying show, fuck it, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So I knew that walking into the fucking tournament, I would be the youngest guy. And in a sense, the least experienced. And that sort of like made me feel really, really out of place. Like really, really, really made me like nervous. And I consider myself a social butterfly. I consider myself someone to be like, pretty positive, especially even during those times. Everybody knew me as the cool kid in high school, the cool athlete kid, but I was fucking nervous, right? And nobody knew that, right? I was in the 10th grade. I had to be, yeah, I was like in the 10th grade. You're 15, right? 10th grade. And everyone else was literally in grade 12 or 13. And some of you are probably like grade 13. Well, if you don't know what a grade 13 is, you're probably too young. But yes, there was a grade 13 at a certain point in time, right? And going into the tournament, I was nervous. I was 140 pounds, just like any rookie would be. But there was one thing that carried me through the battlefield. All right. And this is the main reason why I decided to talk about this today. There was one thing that actually allowed me to go through with the tournament before knowing like I was scared as fuck before it. And then during it, I was still scared as fuck. But then there was something that sort of hit me that allowed me to go through with it and not quit. And it was one thing that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that you guys have shared with me without even fucking knowing it, which I'm so grateful for and I'm so appreciative of. And that thing, guys and girls, was my fucking hype. And just before you get confused, just hear me out. Listen to this. You see, leading up to that tournament, I had to qualify through other regional tournaments, right? Like this is the big show, right? This is the OFSA, right? So in order to go to the provincial level, you have to win the regional levels. So in my rookie year, I won two regional championships, both the junior and the senior. So as a junior, I won that one and qualified for the senior, and then competed there and won that one as well, right? So I was kicking people's ass that was older than me anyway. And prior to that, I was on a roll from several wins, going to other school tournaments and stuff like that. Like I was known for just going to these tournaments, collecting gold, and coming home. Like I remember vividly on the announcements every morning that I would attend school because I was actually kind of a dickhead and I didn't, attend school all the time, especially in high school. I was somewhat of a bad apple, but whenever I would go and I would be there to hear the, the announcements, things like that. Every morning after the wrestling tournament or the day after the wrestling tournaments, they would announce the winners and all that, the athletes, things of that sort, right? So I remember leading up to this OFSA show or this OFSA tournament. Fuck, I keep messing that up. And it was like, and first place again, Matt Butale. And they're talking, it was literally like a meme. Like I became a meme. The whole class cheered. I became like that joke, like where it's like, oh, how many goals did you get this week? How many goals did you get last week or last month? They knew every single time, I was going to a tournament, I was leaving with gold. And not just because it happened once or twice, but because sometimes they'd like, stick around after school as some bored teenagers would do, and they would see how I train. And it was my twin brother and I, we would always be the first to enter and last to leave. We really trained our asses off. We died every fucking wrestling practice. So it was like inevitable that we won. We did our work, right? But anyway, that became a meme. Matt Butale wins gold. Matt Butale wins gold. So on and so forth. It was so much of a meme. My classmates, and I remember this, my classmates and teachers always hyped me up as a sick ass wrestler. And I always took that energy with me, that hype, right? And even though I was doubtful of myself due to that gut wrenching fear that I'd fucking lose and embarrass myself, because honestly, let's keep it a stack here. At that time, I wasn't really comfortable with losing because I was pretty much winning everything, and to go back to school and everyone expecting me to win and all that shit, and I don't win and all that. So like that, every single tournament that made me afraid, even the tournaments that I won, right? But even though I had the option to opt out, although I qualified, I went anyway. Why? Because of the hype. All right. So fast forward throughout the whole entire tournament. I'm at my last fight here now, right? And just so you guys and girls know, I lost two bouts out of I think 10 or 12, right? And those two guys were, the first one was already a national champion, and the second one was somebody else that wrestled his whole entire life. He was a really, really good wrestler. As a matter of fact, that wrestling match was on CTV. And fuck no, I'll never ever upload it because no, nah, the FBI couldn't get that shit out of me. The CIA couldn't either. There's no way. All right, so that match was on CTV anyway. So these two really experienced guys that I knew from club kicked my ass. They were both 19. One of them went to McMaster's University, and the other one I forgot. Um, Somewhere in Mariposa, Barrie area. If you're Canadian, if you're from Ontario specifically, you'd know. And then there was another guy who was, was really, really good as well, but he wasn't on my side of the draw, right? And had I been on his side of the draw, I likely would have meddled with the copper. But let's not talk about that. Fuck the wrestling politics. Let's get into what this is actually about. All right. So the last fight that I had, we were fighting for fifth and sixth. Typically, it's top five goes onto the podium. Four people medal and one person gets a ribbon. So first place is gold, second is silver, third is bronze, fourth is copper. You get medals, and then the fifth you get a ribbon. Sixth you also get a ribbon too, but you don't get to go on the podium. All right. So I remember walking onto this mat, thinking of the match I had before, which is just hell. I literally went through war just to fucking win that one, and I won barely by points. And I was still exhausted. I was still tired. And I realized I'm like, yeah, like I've been at a disadvantage this whole time. Like every single person I've wrestled has more experience than me. They're older than me, and in a sense, they're just better than me. But I keep fucking coming out on top. Like, why? And then that's like literally right before the last match happened. I realized it was the hype. I looked over my left shoulder, and all the wrestlers that came with us for our school, even the guys that weren't wrestling that just came to support, were all cheering me on. And even though I was going for fifth and sixth, having them cheer me on lit me up. And that was like that was like a pivotal moment where I realized that although wrestling is an individual sport, you're doing this for yourself, right? Like wrestling, there's no teamwork. I mean, outside of practice, you're on that mat, you either get your ass kicked or you kick ass, right? But looking over and understanding that they were supporting me, just it felt like a team effort. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? Even if I'm fighting for fifth and sixth, I'm not about to miss my chance to make the podium. The podium is like my win, right? Like the podium is my win. And to be honest with you guys and girls, that was a fucking dog fight. I will never forget that fucking guy's name. I was 15, the guy was 19. I will never forget his name. His name was Jonathan Molloy. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget that fight. That guy brought the worst out into me in a good way, as all athletes should have, fucking criminal intentions, but a pure, let's say pure heart, whatever, however the fuck you want to word that. But no, I don't want to kill him, but I wanted him dead, if you get my drift. But the thing is this, I grinded my ass off with energy I didn't have, even though I was nervous. And then I understood that energy came from the people that were supporting me, the people on the bleachers chanting my name, the people every single morning that would hype me up, the people that would remind me of what it was that I didn't see in myself, right? Because my nervousness just fucking clouded that shit up. You know, my self doubt, my anxiety at the time just made me suppress myself. Even though I had a track record of just fucking winning, I felt less than because of my fear. And I know that this is something you guys and girls can relate to. I know this is something that you guys and girls can relate to. All right. But anyway, I bled all the blood I could bleed. I sweat my ass off. I was dying for air. We were both hustling. But fortunately for me, I came out with the win. I won the final bout and I was able to make the podium. And although when, everything sort of died down, it was kind of sad that I got fifth place. Everyone was expecting me to go top three because they knew it's a big fucking tournament. Like, this is awesome, man. This is big time in high school. They said, even if you're a champion, you're winning all these shows, even if you win regional twice as a junior, you still might not make top three. Like, going into the show with that sort of intensity, knowing this was a big show or a big tournament, really off put me and made me a lot more scared than I already was. But what countered that was having people support me. And the people that, like, in the mornings, like, I would never forget this shit ever. Like, I can never forget. I remember walking to school, and it was like a spring. Like, it wasn't even spring, but I could smell the trees out. It was like raining the day before or some shit. And I just remember going into class, hearing the buzzer beep. I turn off my Chief Keef because I'm listening to my fucking music, and all I hear is, "Yo, this guy, yo, oh, don't take my lunch money," all this shit. Because we used to joke around and laugh that I would, wrestle them and beat them up for the lunch money, and just that positive energy, that the positive energy, the hype that they were able to give me, definitely manifested in a form of energy for me that I was able to project into reality, which helped me make that which honestly helped me win. It just helped me make what I needed to make inside internally, whether it's energy, mental belief, and all that, tactics, whatever it was, to come out on top. And even though I placed fifth, I still have that ribbon, that black ribbon. It's honestly, it's on my wall on the right. You guys can't see it if you're watching this on any stream, because I hid it behind my plaque. Actually, on the YouTube you can see it. TikTok and Instagram can't see it, but on YouTube you can see it. So it's that plaque right there. That's when I was awarded an MVP. Behind that plaque, I actually have the ribbon there. The ribbon is pinned up behind it, and it says fifth place OFSA. And I'll never throw it away. I'll never throw that shit in garbage because of its sentimental value, and also, like, understanding that it's not always about winning, but the things that made you get what you got, whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome. What things made me get that? I thought about every practice every time I looked at it. I thought about my mental state every time I looked at it, and everything leading up to it. But ultimately, I've just every time I look at that, it just reminds me of people. It never reminds me of my placing. It reminds me of the people that hyped me up, that believed in me, that gave me that positive energy that I ended up reciprocating to get something, right? And it's not like it's not like I won, but it's not like I lost either, because I wanted to go on the podium in my rookie year and I fucking did it. I was reminded by everyone that I was only 15 years old and the youngest guy in that weight class in that tournament on the podium. I only lost 2 matches out of like 10, and the only 2 guys that beat me placed first and second in that class. And they had 4 to 5 years on me as seniors, which I'm not saying is his crutch, but it really makes me like, now I'm 24. I'm looking at this and I'm like, the perspective is crazy. Like, the perspective, like, I remember how afraid I was of these guys, and that I was still able to stand up and, I scored some points and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, even like, I'm thinking of it now. I'm like, I still don't know my potential because of, that moment. But I do understand that through many other experiences in my life, that sort of thing repeated. It repeated with my bodybuilding. I was nervous as shit for my very first competition. 19 years old, again, the youngest guy on stage. I'm a rookie. It was my first show ever. Going on stage in front of people in fucking in red speedos. I don't even know these people. It's a whole bunch of old white people judging me and shit. I'm like, this fucking, why am I here? Nervous as fuck. But I would open my phone and then I'd be getting these messages of encouragement. Matt, you got this. You look fucking sick. You look amazing. Da da da. And then my mind would just immediately switch. And then I'm like, you know what? I am this shit. I can do this shit. And I'm going to do this shit. And I went and I did this shit. And I pulled off youngest guy on stage with the first place, very first show. And the same thing happened with my nationals. I was nervous. Now I'm going to a national stage, a bigger stage. And I already have PTSD from placing second at nationals in wrestling, but that's a story for another day. And I went on stage with those negative beliefs, but right before I went back again because there's prejudging, so there's finals. I was looking at my phone and looking at my phone, getting all these messages bombarding. Like, people are like, "Yo, Matt, you got this." The same stuff like my first show. The same stuff like when I was wrestling, and my classmates in school would tell me, "Matt, you're the fucking shit," hyping me up, giving me that positive energy, helping me believe in myself, seeing shit in me I couldn't see in my own self. And I went and I won that show. So I'm now Canadian champion. Like, holy fuck, anything's possible. So then I actually stopped doubting myself a little bit at that time. Because then I realized, like, people can see what I'm refusing to see in myself. And I've got to be more aware of this. Not to say that I'll never be afraid again. Like, I'm a human being. Come on, let's be real. Right? Every competition, if you don't get butterflies before a competition, it's because you're not training, or you're not going there to win first place. You're going there just to participate. If you get butterflies, it's because you're fucking serious about it. Like, you trained your ass off, you did the most that you could, and you wonder if it was enough. That's why you get butterflies. That's why you get nervous. That's why you get fearful. Same thing with anything else in your life, right? So again, I just every time I look at that black ribbon, or I think of that black ribbon, or look at that old wrestling picture where the ref was raising up my hand, I just think of people, man. I can just hear a crowd roaring, and how that amplifies my energy and digs me out of the grave of being, you know, self-conscious and being just like doubtful and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sort of like experiencing it again, just thinking about it. But that's aside from the point. All right. It reminds me of the value of having people who support you because they see great things in you that you can't see. All right. And although I'm no longer a freestyle wrestler, I noticed that energy come full circle when I started competing as a bodybuilder, and as I just told you. And honest to God, I want to wrap this up with this. Okay. I want to wrap it up with this. It's all thanks to you, literally. You, you guys, the ones listening to my podcast, the ones that follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, subscribe to me on YouTube, LinkedIn, everything, fucking everything. Every comment that you guys and girls have given me, every word of encouragement, every time you've posted me on your story, every time you've liked a picture, every time you've done something positive to me, to motivate me, to inspire me. That, like, who I am today, my mentors included, is an accumulation of all of the positive hype that I was able to not only generate internally, but receive and reciprocate, or receive from you guys and girls. And now my goal is to reciprocate it back to y'all. Because if you guys can make me feel this way, I want to make you feel this way too. Because the things that I was able to achieve in my life, which honestly I still haven't achieved everything I wanted to yet, not even close, like, understanding that comes from, like, most of it comes from positivity that I can get from other people when I'm doubting myself the most, when I'm the most afraid. Like, understanding that makes me value the power behind it a lot more. And it's thanks to you, my followers and supporters, that I'm extremely grateful. And even though I'll never, like, we'll say this much, if you believe you're hyped too much, you become conceited, you become cocky, you become arrogant, things of that sort. And I've had people call me those things, and rightfully so. But I was just delusional. And whenever I'm in that state of mind, I win. Right. So even when I'm not in that state of mind, all right, I'll always believe my hype now because of you guys and girls. Like, you've instilled something in me that honestly I can't get rid of. I can't get rid of it anymore. It's like, yes, I still doubt myself at times, but it's nowhere near the same as before. Now I know for a fucking fact I'm capable of shit. And I owe you guys and girls that. There's a huge thank you internally that I've got to give you guys and girls for helping me believe in myself. And I'm eternally grateful. And even though I'll always believe my own hype, I'll never forget where that energy comes from. And I'm always reminded that I couldn't do this without your support. And for that, I'm truly grateful for your hype. Like, I'll believe in me so much that the haters will too. Honestly, I said, it, it's not going anywhere. Like, the positivity and the energy you guys and girls have given me has really built me up in terms of confidence, in terms of like my physique, even because everything, just, it's a revolving door. right? I get better when I get positive things happening to me, and you get better when you have positive things happening to you, right? So I'll believe in myself so much that the fucking haters will too. Like that's aside from the point. What I really want to say is I believe in you. You're a badass motherfucker. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this on the live stream, you're a badass motherfucker. I'ma hype you up. This is your show to win. This is your competition to dominate. That's your job to fucking kill. If you fucking applied for a job yesterday, you got that job, bro. I'm hyping you the fuck up because that's what y'all did for me. And the power behind that is something I couldn't even put a price tag on. It's something that is now permanently embedded in who I am. And now it's time for you guys and girls to believe your own hype. Take this energy, the energy that you gave me that made me a champion. It's ours to share. Thank you, champion. That's it. That's all. If you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Let's embrace your inner meathead. All right. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Boom. Podcast episode's done. I made a couple errors, but like, who cares, bro? We're humans. We're human beings, man. So the hater on TikTok, I'm not only streaming on TikTok, I've got Instagram and I've got YouTube rolling here. So if you want to say negative shit, that's up to you. You know, God loves you, bro. Or whatever the fuck you identify as. Let's see. Rose Jack, I appreciate you, dog. Do you like Avenged Sevenfold? I fuck with Avenged Sevenfold. Hell yeah. Um, well, there's only one song specifically that I really, really love that I won't stop listening to ever, but I listen to some other songs from them. It's really, really short. The To End the Rapture on TikTok. Zemek says, Offset Ontario. Shout out to my Ontarians. You know what's up. Michael says, hey, brother, what's the number one piece of life advice? Good question. Life advice. I'll say, with respect to this episode, the theme of today's episode, the one piece of advice, Michael, that I'd give you, bro, is allow yourself to be afraid, but also allow yourself to accept the positivity from others, right? Because when you're afraid, you really can't generate your own positivity. It's like very hard. Like it's fucking hard. Like you're gonna be afraid telling yourself, "No, I got this," and then you really feel inside, "No, I don't got this," and you're like, you know, you're kind of nervous. But if you can feel afraid and you're giving yourself permission to feel afraid, give yourself permission to accept positivity, especially if you can't create positivity because you're in a state of fear. So, in respect to or with respect to today's episode, the one piece of advice I'd give you, Mike, is allow yourself to feel the fear, but also allow yourself to get the positivity. Give yourself permission. That's what I like to say, bro. Ash says it's trend songs. Dickhead. That's jokes. I like that. That's fucking funny. Fran says hello. I appreciate you. Sylvester says konnichiwa. Onin-chan. All right. I don't speak that, but you know what I'm saying. Hello to you too, Holmes. So I answered that question. Okay, so Ash answered his question. Mike's question again. It says, "Don't be a piece of shit. Change my life. It changed my life." Like that's pretty simple. Homie says, "Man still has his high school medals on his walls." Yeah, I've got my high school medals over here, and I've got my recent medals from last year and the years before that over here. I get medals every year, buddy. I'm competing and winning. I don't know if that's a joke or if that's just a statement. If it's a joke, I'm laughing with you. All right. If it's a statement, still laughing with you. If it's an insult, I'm laughing at you because I don't know what medals you get every year, boy. But I'm just fucking with you, honestly. You're welcome, my guy. 1K likes. Yo, yes, 1,000 likes. I appreciate the likes. Real shit. Real fucking shit. And then Julianne says, always be proud of yourself. Absolutely. Everything's a milestone. I literally still kept the handkerchief uh from my wrestling matches when I would because you got a handkerchief at offside and you have to keep it in your singlet just in case you or the other person bled and you can wipe the blood off. And I still have it and it has the blood stains on it to this day. I don't know why people throw away old medals or throw away old trophies. Those things are fucking memories, man. I would never throw away that shit. That's I don't give a fuck if it's a dollar trophy. There's sentimental value there, and that's a point that I'm gonna stand by. User says hi, hey, appreciate you. Watch my newest video. No, I'm not doing that. Dragon Boy, hey, what's up? Happy Canada Day. Boy, it ain't even Canada Day. What are you tripping for? Jerry, shout out to you. Um, what you been doing, bro? I've just been lifting, eating and shit. Michelle, I appreciate you. Top viewer with the rose. I appreciate you, Michelle. Much love. Much love. Michelle, I appreciate you. Same old 15-year-old Gen Z woman doing nothing get 300 views. Yeah, I know. It fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks. But hey, I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it, brother. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it because there's gonna be one day where like I'm gonna be getting like, I don't know, fucking a million views. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do anyway. I'm like, this is to help other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people want to hate, they can hate. That's on them. And let them Gen Z motherfuckers do what they want to do because TikTok is built for that. Social media and the left and all that are really hounding down on people that have a brain, not even conservatives, and the freedom of will to think and all that shit. So yeah, I appreciate you. Honestly, at first I thought you were dissing. His name is Kurz Waffen. If I'm pronouncing that right, I thought you were dissing, homie, but you're genuine. I appreciate you, fam. He says lots of respect to you. Honestly, thank you for being there and giving some thoughts and words here. I appreciate you, fam. Much love. Lay Morse says, Roids, no, I'm natty. And actually, if you see that little thing right there, I don't know if you can see that little piece of paper under my pro card. That's actually my urine test from the day that I tested when I got my pro card, and it of course passed. So we're natty. It says, what are you reading? I'm reading your comments right now, people. You're new here, so you didn't see all the other previous comments. I want a Galaxy. No, I'm not gonna answer that. Kurz says, good attitude, 300 pennies versus three $10 bills. Yo, that's their shot. Yo, literally. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the motherfucking follow, homie. Real shit. You're a G. I appreciate you, homie. Gonna read some of the stuff here on Instagram real quick. Then I'm gonna eat my last meal and dip out. Didn't get a lot of questions because we're actually quite late here in Canada. It's about 12:37 a.m. Fuck. Homie says, yes, boss. Thank you for this shit, bro. I just joined when it's ended. It's all good. It's all good because the podcast episode, Meathead on the Mic, is on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts as well. So if you want to catch that, you can catch that. Also, if you want to get the full entire live stream of me actually interacting with you guys and girls on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I upload that all there, uncut, raw, no edits. All right. So that's MATT space BUTALE on YouTube, Holmes. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Homie says, Meathead. Yes, so the podcast is called Meathead on the Mic. And it's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcast. I appreciate you. Say he's going to check it out. I fucking appreciate you, dog. Meanwhile, while you're at it, check out my Instagram if you want to do that. It's up to you if you really want to. I post content daily, 7 days a week on my Instagram. And, a bunch of free tips when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to training tricks, and even some short reels on, similar to the ones that you'll see on my TikTok page. Of just like training tricks and all that stuff. I'm here to help you people. I'm here to just give out free value. Bianca says, burning the midnight oil, big man. Yes, 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 definitely. Fucking yes. But I was not gonna give up and not give you guys and girls an episode because I was tired. I committed to it. I said 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, you guys and girls are getting an episode. So that's just what's happening. There's no way about it. How are you doing, Bianca, though? How you doing? How you doing? So homie on YouTube, sure. So he says, remember you from Mount Royal. Your parents must be very proud of you. My dad's super proud of me. My mom's super proud of me. Even though they're sometimes kind of sick of me because I'm so obsessed with what I do, but it's like, whatever. Nobody cares. They're just like, keep doing it, man. Because fuck, in high school, I was an apple. Like, if I was doing now what I was doing in high school, I'd be dead or in jail. So, like, so happy for me. They don't even understand bodybuilding. My dad's never been to any of my competitions. He's my fucking guy. That's my old man is my dude. My mom has been to a couple of my competitions. She doesn't really understand it, but she supports it. So it's like, whatever. As long as they're like, as long as you don't take steroids, I'm like, even if I decided to, like, you guys and girls wouldn't be able to, or you, I can't believe I belittle my parents like that. Shit. I'm like, you both wouldn't be able to do anything to make me not do that if I wanted to. The same way I wanted to do bodybuilding, you guys and girls said go to school. I said, fuck that. I dropped out and did what I wanted to do. But that's not to say that I'm going to take steroids. It just means that I do what I want to do. Like, my parents don't make my decisions for me. I'm a grown fucking man. Homie says, I'll check it out right now. I appreciate you, Holmes. Bianca says, respect. Not bad. Applied for a few more jobs. Ordered some jeans. Fuck yeah. Productive day. Good shit, Holmes. Good shit. Hey, Crimson Crisp. Oh, damn. I hope I wasn't butchering it. He says, Kurzwaff. I'll sub here since I use this more. Fuck yeah, for sure, man. All the entire episodes will be uploaded here at the end of the recording anyway. So also, it's a really good spot if you really want to like just chat. It's the best quality you're gonna get of this live stream. It's not gonna be like on TikTok where it's just like on my phone camera. Like, you actually get the good mic that I record with, and you get the a little bit more of an HD fucking camera. So appreciate you, Holmes. I really do appreciate you. That's Crimson Crisp. He went from TikTok to YouTube because he's a real G. All right, people. I'll answer. So we're like 12:40 right now. If anyone's got at least one question, I'll answer it. If not, I'm gonna dip out, eat, knock the fuck out, so I can get ready for my day tomorrow. Give you guys like a minute. If you got a question, drop that question. We've been rolling for like 35 minutes here. Yeah, feels like only 5 minutes. Like I fucking love doing this shit. Homie says, "All right, good night, bro. Gotta work out now, or I'll throw my sleep schedule off. Dude, get that fucking workout. Taking it from IFBB Pro. Don't hold back a bit. Spend it all, then spend some more. Hope you have a sick ass workout, bro. Have a good night. I appreciate you for real. Honestly, man. It's Crimson Crisp signing out, my dude. Bianca says, by the way, there's no shame in taking a break if you need to. We love your live streams, but I'm sure we'll understand. No, dude, 100%. Like, 100%. But like, it's like that kind of mindset. I'll be honest with you. I'm like afraid of that mindset. Not for like it's okay. I'll just break it down. Like I'm afraid of it because it's like I don't like to allow myself to think that it's okay for me to play less. Like I should either do what I'm capable of doing or not do anything. Right. And it's not the all or nothing mindset because all or nothing is sort of like you're doing all of it or nothing at all. But I'm saying you should be able to do enough of it. Right. And if it's too much, then change what enough of it means. So, say, for example, if I was to go 7 days a week, which is something I've done before, live stream 7 days a week, and then I feel like it's too much, that's I can't do that. Then I'm gonna have to figure out what's enough. And what's enough is 5. And if some days some weeks it's not even 5. Some weeks it's 4. So it's between 4 to 5. So don't ever feel like I'm pushing myself to do this shit. Don't worry. I always um prepare everything in advance. So it's never me like coming on frantically and all that. I always know what I'm going to talk about before I get on. Got my script laid out. Everything's already mapped out. I know exactly what I'm doing. It's all calculated. And my intention is just to give. Right. So I'm like, I'll feel better going to bed at night knowing that I gave and I just did the thing that I love to do. You know what I mean? And in this case, it was about how I received energy from positive energy from people in high school and how I'm like, returning that. Not even just in high school, but in general, as I competed in many sports throughout my life. So she says, "Go eat, man. You got to keep up the energy up." Yeah, I mean, gotta get the energy down. It's fucking 12:43, but I've got to eat too. You got to keep the muscle up. You feel me? Um, bro, this is the most outrageous comment on TikTok so far today. Bro, this is just nuts. This guy's absolutely crazy. I'm not even gonna read this shit. Oh boy, you guys are really 14 years old, man. That was funny to me like 10 years ago. But honestly, shout out to you because it's better than negativity. So shout out to you for trying to make me laugh. You got a smile out of me. Manster 300, 3000. You got a smile out of me. All right, people. That is it. That is oh wait. I got a question. One question that I didn't even see, and it's so off topic before I even dip. Says, and this is so honestly, just because you went to middle school with me and you still don't want to give me your like, you've got to give me your name because I kind of remember everybody from middle school, but I don't really. So you got to DM me and give me your name because that's just got to tell me. So this person says, "Do you find biracial mixed race women beautiful?" Yeah, yeah, I think they're. I think a beautiful woman is a beautiful woman, regardless of race. That's my opinion. But you hit me up in the messages because that's just tell me who you are. It's not like I'm going to do anything, right? You just got to tell me. All right, people. That's it. That's all. I'll be back again tomorrow or later on today, since it's already tomorrow, with another podcast episode. Hope you guys and girls have a sick ass, kick ass night. Get yourself well rested if you're in the EST time zone. Peace, love, and motherfucking protein. We're out. Boom.